Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
What's up? It's Commissioner Maran with the Spirit Animal Justin Lanza, Comedy Fight Club 20, Fighter Profiles. We're talking about Jay Welch.
Oh, I love Jay Welch. You love Jay Welch?
I love Jay Welch.
What do you, Matt Maran, like about Jay Welch?
His beard.
His beard?
I'm a big fan of beards.
Oh, all right. Maybe that's how I got in.
And Jay is also, I would say he's the battle that makes us feel like we're doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
Just when you're hanging out with him and he's like, if he's a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
If he's down with us, then we're not doing too bad.
No. I mean, we're not, sometimes I feel like God frowns upon the things that we do and say and are, but really, yeah, if Jay likes us, then I say we're doing all right. And you know what I like about Jay is Jay has a very unique style in his own right, and he has a very alt comedy mentality, but with the writing strength of a professional.
Yeah, he is a great joke writer. I faced him at Roast Masters. That was one of my favorite battles I've ever done. And I've seen him kill it at a lot of roasts. Killed at a Fight Club before. I'm excited to have him in this tournament. He's facing Anya Voles. That's going to be a great matchup. I sat down with Jay, talked to him about the matchup and the tournament and roasting in general and how smart he is. Jay Welch in the Comedy Fight Club 20 tournament. One of my favorite, not just roast battlers, but roast battle opponents.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, we went against each other at the stand. It was my first time main eventing at Roast Masters.
One of my earlier times main eventing as well. And you came out on top, but it was a close and a good fought battle.
I would always rather. If it's a good battle, I never care if I win or lose.
I disagree.
You do?
If it's a close battle, I still want to win.
I guess. Well, okay,
but I agree that we both would rather have a good battle than a winning battle.
Yes, I'd rather win a good battle. I'd rather win a good battle or lose a good battle than win a bad battle.
Oh, for sure, sure.
Awesome.
I don't want those people to be like, man, that winner sucked.
Yes, exactly. Like, you won, I guess.
The real loss was how many people unfollowed you afterwards.
Yes. And it's interesting because so seeing you, because I've known you for years.
Yeah.
And you, I think a lot of times when you see people at mics and stuff, you see some people who it's like roasting would be their thing, either by writing style or that they kind of have more of an, like, they like offensive jokes, everything. You weren't a guy who I would see, I'm like, that guy must love or be great at roasting, but you are.
I mean, I like jokes. And roasts are a place you do jokes. And so it's a fun exercise and a fun challenge, and I like getting dirty when that's the framework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so going into when you first started doing roast, was there a hesitation at all? Or was it just, did you see it that way when you started?
Well, so the first one I ever did was with Emily Winter. I don't know. I imagine you're familiar with her.
Yes.
Very funny woman, and we both knew each other reasonably well before we first did it. So it was like good to have a relationship with her, and so it became a way for us to both, work to raise our profiles and also to spar a little bit.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing it in that context, I think it's a healthy thing, and it honestly can bring people closer together rather than farther apart.
Yeah, I've always felt the first time I ever did a roast, it was a deist roast, and there was a part of me that felt almost like we all, like, if I see any of those people now, it's like we were in a war together.
Just with each other.
Yeah, exactly, against each other. But yeah,
it's and then there were none, that murder mystery on the deserted island.
Yes.
If those people hadn't, all 10 of them died. I bet, like, at a reunion, they'd be like, man, remember that island?
Yeah. Have you gone against people who you didn't know really at all?
A little bit. And it's not bad. You try to meet them and get to know them before, but it's not as good, and it's a little easier. It's a little easier to forget to not take it personally. At like an instinctive level.
Yeah.
Like when it's someone you already have a base of rapport and friendship with, and the longer it goes back, the better, then the part where you're really mean to each other can't crowd out that other stuff.
That's fair. Have you had times where someone says something and at least initially you think, oh, that hurt, or not even?
Well, like think like if you were like just even a conversation.
Yes.
And like you're in a friendly ball busting conversation.
Yes.
And a stranger comes up and just starts also being mean.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So it's a little similar to that. When it's happening in the context of respect and friendship, it's great. And when it's not, the bodega guy asks why I'm buying so much ice cream later.
Yeah. But yeah, you're facing Anya Vols. Do you know Anya?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you feel like that'll be that. You guys have all a good rapport. It won't be.
We've known each other for some time. I wouldn't say that we've ever, trauma bonded, particularly other than just
trauma
sort of,
bonded.
like when you go through a difficult thing and you're like closer afterwards, that kind of thing.
Okay, is that what
Unless
a
you
roast
count
is?
just being in comedy
As trauma,
as a
yeah.
category.
Trauma bond. I never
As a
heard the
larger
term
category.
trauma bonding before.
Yeah. I listen to women, Matt.
Yeah. I try not to.
No, it comes across
Yeah.
in your persona.
Trauma bonding. But yeah, I guess then in a friendship, do you feel like you're not really friends with someone until you've been through a trauma together?
I mean, there's levels and there's levels, but yeah, there's a closeness you get from bad times that's different than the closeness you get from good times. It's
That's
nice
fair.
to have the good times, but there's a silver lining with the bad.
Yeah. And so you've been doing roast for a while, and you've been doing the Fight Club ones for a while also.
Sure.
You've done a bunch of different. How do you feel coming down when you come down to do CFC Arena?
Well, first of all, any chance I get to go to an arena,
yes.
just as a
exactly.
category of place.
Exactly.
No one's ever like, where I had a terrible time was that arena.
Yeah.
So firstly that, but also, it's a fun time and it's a good hang, and you're watching a lot of people who are excited about a thing doing a thing. It's an infectious vibe.
Yeah. And so in these battles, do you at this point, I mean, after a while, same things will get thrown at you a bunch of times when you're doing the roasts a bunch. Do you plan to, I've done this a few times, I'll plan comebacks for certain things. I think you have a couple times.
One of my dreams in a roast situation is to just say the word Hodor.
Yes.
Which I feel would be a loss, but an interesting one.
Yeah. I do remember I introduced you at Fight Club one time as a pretentious walrus, and you came up and said it's pronounced Walroo.
Yes,
which
yes,
is-
yes.
You have a few times, that's the one I think of right now. There's a few times. You have some great ad-libs.
Well, my instinct in general is self-deprecation.
Yeah.
And like even when I was a kid, like before I got into the comedy thing seriously,
Yeah.
if like people were doing yo mama jokes, my impulse was always to like agree with them about my mom. Just like they're like, your mama's so whatever. I'd be like, I know, we're worried. Which is not like the rarest move or anything,
Right.
but is a very like neutralizes thing. And that's a problem as a legitimate, I shouldn't even be saying a weakness in roasting, but my natural self-deprecation impulse is something that sometimes you can use well with an audience.
All right, this is exciting. I've never roasted an Amish polar bear before. But Jay's favorite restaurant is Wendy's because his two favorite things are cheeseburgers and underage girls.
First blood.
Matt, you look like if the state of Florida were a person.
Jay was a Republican when he was in college. Now he's a Democrat, and in 10 years he'll be in a diabetic coma.
That's longer than my doctor gives me. Matt worked briefly as a professional wrestler. In his career as a professional wrestler, he would travel from venue to venue getting booed. So it's a lot like his comedy career, but with traveling.
Yeah, I was a pro wrestler, but Jay has definitely broken more folding chairs.
Sure. Matt, you look like a lion going to vocational school. You have a haircut that says, I am proficient in neither Word nor Excel.
Winner of round one is Jay Welch. Give him some love. Michael Che, what did you think of that? Do you agree with the decision?
Yeah, I agree with the decision. I do like the fact that you have a watch, like you have to be on time for something ever. But no one needs a watch and no sleeves. But I would have went with Jay.
We kind of just both called each other pedophiles and rapists.
No,
A little bit. It was a
That's
little
not
of that.
all. There's to some extent you're rounding
Two
out.
large bearded men facing each other.
look, if you're in a roast battle situation and you have a variety of jokes,
Yes.
it's not weird to have some pawns who round out an army.
Yes.
That is sort of how I tend to feel about your pedophile jokes.
Yeah.
Unless there's a specific reason.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, I think someone for whom the pedophile jokes would really, really ring true,
Yeah.
we're probably not inviting.
We're probably not what?
Inviting.
Invite. Yeah, that's fair. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I generally feel like, well, there hasn't been a case of someone at Fight Club who like got called a rapist a bunch and then ended up being a rapist.
You know, it's honestly a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. It'll be somebody who's like,
It's like when someone who had HIV like lived for 5 years in 1982.
yes, yeah. It's
Like, oh, they beat the odds. That's
they
great.
we beat the odds by not having a Fight Club battler turn into a rapist. But, all right, thank you, Jay, for being here. Good luck in the tournament. I'm
Thank you.
excited for it.
Me too.
I'm Jay. I'm so smart.
So that's going to be Jay Welch versus Anya Voles. Anya, her style is mostly kind of strict joke writing, but a little bit loose also. And Jay's also a little bit. He'll riff a bit. He's great at ad libs. And I think there are two people who make me feel like I'm not as smart as I should be.
Yeah, and Anya has a very good smile and bright personality. So she brings a lot of. She is a shining light in our dark, dank basement.
I do know she went against Chloe McGovern once, came out with some brutal rape jokes, and I always like seeing people who are smarter than me stoop down to my level.
That's nice. Yeah, come on down to the low road, baby. There's plenty of room here.
How do you feel this battle's going to go? Jay, how do you think Jay Welch, the way he does battles, how do you think that's going to match up with Anya?
I think Anya's going to do great, and she's going to have some great stuff written. And I think, I don't know, but I'm going to have to hedge my bets with Jay, maybe just because I haven't seen him in a while, and I'm very curious to see what he's going to bring.
I've seen them both come out with some really brutal stuff, and I'm excited for this battle. Winner's going to advance in the Comedy Fight Club 20 tournament, one step closer to the main event at Skankfest. Jay Welch, awesome battler.